So I want to talk about the New Testament phrase that says, ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and it shall be opened. Interesting concepts there. One of the Apostle John's letters, either 1st, 2nd, or 3rd John, and it says, and whatsoever we ask according to his will, he hears us. He puts in that caveat of whatever we ask according to his will, which jives with other statements and concepts. But first, I wanted to look at the three: ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and it shall be opened. All of those require some sort of activity from the individual. The first is asking, and then seeking, knocking. And I don't know if the order that they're in is specific, like if it's do this, then do this, then do this, or it doesn't matter what the order is. I think my first assumption, and I will challenge all my assumptions, is going to be from the perspective that they're in order, in the order that they're in for a reason. If the first thing is to ask, then you got to know what you're asking for. What is the purpose of asking? If you're asking, it's usually for something, or you're asking a question, or you're asking about something. So whatever the question happens to be. And then seek is to look for a thing. I kind of think about this as sort of relating to looking for opportunity. So you look for opportunity. You keep your eyes open. You keep your eyes peeled for opportunity, for good things to come along. And then when the good things come along, you've already been looking for them. Or you're out there looking for them. Those things are out there. And then all of a sudden you see them and you find them and you find a good opportunity. So let's just take it from the point of opportunity. Say I'm asking for opportunity. Be specific. I want opportunity for wealth, for growth, for travel, for love. There's another passage that talks about kinds of prayers, and it says, let your prayer and your supplication be made known to God. So supplications and prayers are different things. We'd have to look into the differences of those words, but there's a difference, or they wouldn't be mentioned in two different things. Just be, let your prayers be known. That's why I don't think asking and seeking and knocking is saying the same thing in three different ways. I think it's different. I think it's three different concepts. So ask and it shall be given. Okay. How many times have you asked for something and you never got it? Then I look at ask and it shall be given and I go, oh, that's not a true statement. And then if it's not a true statement, then essentially I'm saying that Jesus was wrong, he was in error, or he was a liar, or he just believed something that wasn't true, or maybe for him it was true, but for other people it's not true. You could jump through all kinds of mental hoops with that. I'm going to work from the assumption that it is true, and then I'm going to try and uncover why it did not work. Or did it work, but I wasn't seeking, so I didn't find. I wasn't knocking, so it wasn't opened. I don't think you're given everything. Let's face it, people get sick and people die. We come back again, ask and you shall receive. What does that actually mean? And I think John shed light on it, and he said, whatsoever we ask according to his will. So it's rather specific, and it's a lot to unpack, and it's a lot to try to figure out, and it's not something that's easily done. And anybody who thinks they could just easily answer these questions, easily understand this, is fooling themselves. And anybody that just gives you an easy answer, forget it, because it's not easy. And I want to unpack it as much as I can. I want to try to unravel it as much as I can by just thinking about it and conceptualizing it before I actually get into the language of it, before I actually get into digging into the concept deeper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what others have done as far as that concept goes, and I'm going to listen to what they have to say and unpack what they have to say. I'm going to get into the Greek, and I'm going to get into some commentaries, and I'm going to dig up what I can and make sense of it. I'm not just going to accept what other people say about it and then go, oh, that's it. No, that's not how things work. I'll weigh what other people say. I'll balance it with more than one opinion. I'll look at the Greek. I'll understand it in its original. I'll weigh that against what others have said and what is taught about it. And then I'll try to unfold it so that I can understand it, so that you can understand it along with me, so that you can dig into it. And I suggest you dig into it yourself instead of just taking what I say and going with it. Question everything and try and come up with it, because it's going to be a unified concept of truth, because the truth isn't, well, it's true for me, but it's not true for you. That's just bullshit. It's got to be the same principle, the same essence, the same grain across the board, because it's meant for human development. It's meant for individuals to be able to grow as persons. It's meant to make people better. There's going to be a unified truth, and the truth is going to emerge. And maybe that's the first thing we have to ask is, and maybe that's the first thing we are asking, just coming to my mind right now. What is the truth to ask and you shall receive? Then I begin to seek. I begin to look for that truth, that revelation of the knowledge of that answers the question that I've asked. So if it shall be given, that means that the truth behind that saying is going to be revealed to me. It has to be. Otherwise, the statement is incorrect. Now to seek it, I have to pay attention to the truth that gets revealed to me. So I have to pay attention to my thoughts. I have to pay attention to the information that begins revealing itself around me. I start looking into that, and I start looking into the language of it. That is the process of seeking. I'm going to find it because it's going to be revealed. If it's revealed, it's going to be revealed in my mind. It's going to come through my seeking. However I do that, that knowledge is going to begin to emerge. Okay, I'm doing research. I'm processing this information. I've got this much knowledge. This leads me to this. This led me to that. That led me over here. I understand these concepts. They're coming together in a unified idea. And I believe that more than one source is probably going to hit on more than one correct aspect of what we want to know. So this person might hit on a grain of it, and then someone else might hit on an aspect of it, and you go, oh yeah, that joins together good with that. Those two things make sense together. And then another person hits on a grain, and you go, that, and that. Those three things actually are forming more of a whole. You start to put those pieces of that puzzle together. It's all inquiry. It's all, how do I discover something? How do I learn about something, right? You read the books, you take the classes, you do the work, right? You put in the time, you make the sacrifice, And that's what it is. It's a sacrifice. And I'm afraid, whether you want to realize it or not, sacrifice is required in just about everything we do if we want anything that we do to be of value. So the sacrifice will be time and energy. It'll be putting off things that I might like to do instead for the thing that I asked for. I want this. How do I get it? How do I knock? How do I seek? What's the answer to my question? And then once you get the answer to the question, now you've got it. Then you've uncovered something. You've done the work. And once you've done that work, once you've gone through that process, now you know how it works. Now you know how it operates. So the next time that you ask, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly how it goes conceptually, because you know the steps, versus just trying to unravel it like we're doing now without necessarily knowing the steps. I think this is the Dutch Bros line, because I'm going through Dutch Bros. And if Dutch Bro wants to sponsor me, I'd be very happy to have a Dutch Bros sponsorship. Well, this is not sponsored, but I'm getting me a cup of Joe. So now, I did listen already to Jordan Peterson, Ask and you shall receive, and I'm gonna have to listen to what he said again. One of the concepts he hit on was ask, how can I make things in my life right? What is it that I'm doing wrong? Those are the things that he talked about. And those are specific questions, and I think your question should be specific, but I don't think that it has to be those specific questions. I think the truth is that it has to be specific. So like we said, what is the truth to ask and it shall be given? We ask specifically to understand the truth of that question. So I think the first truth of that question is that whatever we ask, it has to be specific. And then the concepts start revealing themselves to you. So you're digging through the research and you go, an aha moment. Look at this. Look at what I just read. Seeking is keeping your eyes open, and asking is being specific about a thing. Napoleon Hill talked about the same sort of thing, in that being specific and having that in your mind, that ask, being persistent in it, keeping your eyes open, watching for opportunity to come. And so it's really tuning your mind in to what you want to know, your ask, then going through the process of uncovering. Once you start going through this process, you're seeking. So knocking and seeking and asking are all connected and combined, because you're not just going to stop asking, you're going to keep asking. One question is going to reveal another question, and another question is going to reveal another question. And I think that's really what we're talking about in asking, knocking, and seeking, is we're talking about a process to uncover truth, how we solve problems, grow as individuals, how we become better. Why else would we be asking? It's because we want something better than what we have. We want to know something more than what we know. We want to experience something we haven't experienced. We want to go through a process we haven't gone through. So let's go through the process. This is how the process works. Now I'm going to get the books and watch the videos and do the learning. That means I have to sacrifice my time. Sacrifice your time. Put in the work, because of what it will make of you to do that.